Hey guys, you know this, content creation takes forever. Whether you're a student, creator, or working professional, those reports, presentations, sales reports, they're all repetitive and formatted, but still take up a ton of your time. Like in my life, for example, when I have to go and read through a bunch of company websites to go customize some elements on a sales proposal, or trying to get that image mask just right on a thumbnail or an Instagram post, and it never really does become quite right, or scrolling through Wikipedia references to find citations for a presentation. But what if there was an AI platform that handles all of that? So professional presentations with real academic citations, high quality image generation, and even podcast creation from any content you feed into it. And it can do all that work in 30 seconds that would take you a full 3 days. So that, my friends, is exactly what we're going over in this video with Oreate AI. It's a really cool tool and a popular one that we've yet to take a look at on this channel. And so in the next few minutes, we're going to go through 3 complete workflows that could change how you create content. So you know the routine, grab your caffeine, open your notes app, and let's get into the video. So first up, I want to get into what exactly Oreate AI is. So this is what it looks like on their website and inside the dashboard. And it's a professional content generation platform that's built for professionals who need reports and presentations, number one. Number two, academics, so students working on presentations or teachers prepping lessons. And then number three, researchers who are organizing literature. And number four, any kind of content creators who are looking to expand their output and be more productive. So essentially, if you create anything, any kind of content, then that's what this platform with AI aims to solve. And it's those main challenges specifically that AI solves. So tedious formatting, unprofessional outputs, and the massive time sink that content creation represents. And in my opinion, these kinds of use cases are why AI exists and how it can best be applied now, because a lot of these content creation or revision kind of tasks are highly repetitive, but also really time intensive. And so taking the least valuable but the heaviest time sink activities in your day, in your life, so whether in your career or your studies, that's the whole point of AI. That is the lowest hanging fruit to see a measurable difference in your day-to-day work or life. So we're going to get into those 3 different workflows, and they're going to be number 1, creating presentations with real academic citations. Number 2, generating high quality images, so for example, social content for any kind of use case. And number 3, turning any kind of content into podcasts to learn from anywhere. Now, learning by doing and following along with the walkthroughs in this video is going to be better for you as a viewer. And the good news is it is entirely free for you to give Oreate AI a test spin. So to do that and follow along, you can head over to oreateai.com or click the link in the description to get started. Again, that is completely free to give it a test spin. And so you can follow along with the walkthroughs in this video. I'll share a discount code at the end if you do want to upgrade to a full account. But again, you can start experimenting right now at no cost. And that in mind, let's get into demo number 1. Okay, so this is what the Oreate dashboard looks like. You can see all of the different functions that we're going to dive into right here on the screen. And our first demo is going to be focused around the deep research and the presentation side of this. So creating reports like you would for your job or maybe for school. So let's start with the deep research. So what are we going to make a presentation about? Let's say we're just starting there. For that, I can press on deep research. We can see the Oreate agent right here. And then right here, you can see the different formats for the research, whether it's policy analysis or business or something like you would use in school. And so this merges that ability of the AI to research with a more professional UI UX format that's actually presentable. That in mind, let's scroll up, and something I'm thinking about right now is nuclear. So let's say generate an in-depth report about opportunities within the nuclear reactor space in the United States. And let's say you work at a private equity fund and you want to come up with a presentation ultimately about the opportunities in the space and one specific opportunity that you could potentially go and find companies to invest in. And we don't need to upload anything further. This can be as simple or complex of a prompt as we want, and I'll go ahead and start the research. So you can see the outline that Oreate has made here. So we have different headings, we have different technologies within those headings, and then we have the infrastructure, the growth. I like this. I think this looks great. I'm going to go ahead and click generate. So it's going to generate this in a few different formats. So it's working on it right now, and you can see the outline right here and then the document format that it's writing in addition to the web page style format on it that has been created thus far. And I just want to note the depth of this. Like you could see just the amount of text here is really impressive. And not only that, but there's actually quality graphs that are relevant, contextually important built into here. And I don't even know if these are ones that exist anywhere else. It's something that the agent found and then converted, or information that the agent found and converted into a graph. So really useful information there and a really in-depth report. So the task is being completed. Now we can see the web page here. So opportunities within the nuclear reactor space in the US. We have the abstract, future growth drivers, SMRs, new reactor designs, integrations, and it goes on here. So this is a start. And let's say we read through this, we read through the report and we said, hey, you know what? I think SMRs are the opportunity that we want to take advantage of in our presentation. So for that, let's head back over to the dashboard. And what I'll click on is AI presentation. We'll go ahead with 15 to 20 slides. We'll make it a little bit longer. You can choose templates if you'd like. I'll just leave it as is. And then let's say create a professional private equity style presentation about the opportunity in the small modular reactor space in the United States. Focus on, okay, so filled out the prompt a little bit. Again, we won't upload any supported information. This is purely the agent doing its thing. And let's go ahead and click generate. So once again, we have a outline made right here. That looks good. I'll go ahead and click generate, and then we'll select the template. So I actually really like this top template right here. We can go and we can see all kinds of different ones, but I'm gonna go back to all and stick with this one. And right now you can see in real time these slides being created, this presentation by the AI. So here's the slideshow. We can see investment opportunities in the SMR space, the contents, a little bit of an overview with some design put into the slide, and then we have some visuals added, market size, key players, regulatory environment, basically everything you would need in a real pitch private equity style setting. And of course, all of this is editable. So you can see at the top here, right, we can add some charts, we can do some math, we can add text, we can change the fonts, the colors, anything you want. This is like a editor, just like you would find in Google Slides or Keynote. And that in mind, that's the first way that you can create content here with AI, with this deep research and AI presentation or slideshow generation. And the point I want to mention here last is that, remember, you can feed information into this, right? So let's say you have information about a client, let's say a brief or a proposal that they agree to, and you want to turn that document into a slideshow. You can just go to the little add file or upload button right here. You can upload that context, and then the slideshow can be based off of that context. So that's a really useful workflow in real professional settings, or if, let's say, you're a student and you have to convert, again, say, an essay or a paper into a presentation. Okay, so that was demo number one, and it's probably relevant to you whether you work in a professional field or you're a student. But now let's shift gears a little bit onto the social media or the graphic side of things. So creating images with AI. You need images for everything, whether you work professionally, whether you're a creator, say like myself, whether you're a student. So let's go over here to AI image, and let's start with a Black Friday poster. Say you're a company and you're selling a product. So for this, we do want to upload some context about the product. So let's say I have an e-commerce brand called, I don't know, Cool Clothing, and we're doing a Black Friday discount at 25% off, or buy two, get one free. I'll tell the AI that. I uploaded my product, create a Black Friday Instagram post advertising the discount. In reality, you would also upload the logo, maybe some other brand elements like font or your color set, but this is all we need in this example. So let's go ahead and click generate. Okay, and here is that demo. So Cool Clothing, the name of our brand, Black Friday, and the discounts. You can also see it actually took that image, it created 3 variants, then arranged them on the image. And then we have the little link in bio, call to action, and we'd actually give it the website in a real situation. But again, like this is exactly like what you would do on Canva with a template or something. You just don't have to go and spend the 35 minutes doing that. Now I could also upload, say as a creator, a photo of myself and say I want a banner image made for my YouTube channel. My channel name is John Law and that's a photo of me. Okay, and here you can see it didn't just generate a square image like it would say with ChatGPT. It actually generated the proper dimensions for the banner and it took the information it had and put it together into this image right here. And that probably is an improvement over my current one, I won't lie. And finally, as a fun thing here, we can say use my same image and create a holiday avatar for my personal use. That's fun to share with family and friends. And here's something a little more cartoonish. You know, you could use this in a group chat on Discord or who knows where. But it did take that image of me and then it generated an AI cartoonish, again, version of my real image. Okay, so that was demo number 2. And this third one is definitely something you haven't seen before. That's going to be turning content into podcasts. So it's pretty cool. Let's go. Now there's a few big use cases here. I think my favorite one is, let's say you need to learn about a subject. So maybe you have a research paper. It's a 30-page research paper. Well, if you just want to understand that and you want to do it in an engaging way, you don't need to read all 30 pages. You can just do it like this. Now, of course, there's other applications like, you know, business, obviously, actual content creation or podcasts to be consumed by other people. But just to start with that first use case, let's say I want to read this paper by a current professor of mine, actually. I'll go ahead, I'll download that, and then I've uploaded it into here. And then I'll say, turn this text into a podcast episode, and let's click generate. Okay, so we can see what was just generated by here. This is so cool to me, right? It does look, it feels like an actual podcast. We can click play right here to listen to it. And this is 26 minutes long. This is 26 minutes of hyper-realistic audio that was just created for us from this paper. Now we can see the full transcript here. It's framed as a conversation between two people. And I will say, I think there's also a really interesting business application here in actually creating podcasts with AI that you put on platforms like Apple Podcasts or Spotify. So we'll explore that in a second, but first let's just give this a listen.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Mia, and today we're diving deep into something that sounds super technical, but is actually incredibly relevant to all of us: how governments mess with our money decisions. We've got Lucas here, who's going to break it all down for us.
Thanks for having me, Mia. Happy to be here.
So Lucas, we're talking about this paper.
So that's what it sounds like. And now let's give it a little more freedom. Let's say I want you to create a podcast, exciting and engaging for viewers, and covers recent news in the AI space. And imagine your audience is business professionals, and then we'll just see hands off what it actually creates. Okay, so this is cool. It looks like the podcast that was generated is AI's Triple Threat: LLM's Creativity and Ethical Hurdles. That's 16 minutes of fully generated content where the AI came up with the outline itself. And again, you can see it's framed as a conversation. So, and again, this is generated fully organically, and it is framed more naturally as a conversation between these two people, like you would get in a real podcast, as opposed to one person just narrating. And so again, I think there's going to be, especially over the next few years, a lot of businesses built on the backs of people just creating audio stories and news outlets and content distribution businesses based on something like this, like AI podcasts. Now that said, I want to go back to one quick feature that I think is really important. This applies to the AI presentations and the AI essay writer, and that's going to be citations. And again, you get this on the presentations that we went over as well as this, but in the case of an AI essay writer, I feel like it's a bit more upfront, right? The importance of proper citations. So let's go ahead and see what that looks like here. So what I'll say is, write an article about economic history and the most important contributions to the academic field of economics over the past 25 years. Now for reference, this is where you select the citation style. We'll stick with APA. For words, we'll go, let's go a little bit longer. We'll go 7 to 12,000. Let's go to next step. It'll generate an outline. And this is the key, right? 100% plagiarism free, and then real citations, not fake, no hallucinations, just actual citations that you need for anything like this in the real world. So here we can see the outline that was generated. As usual, we'll click next step and then see full essay. Now, what I also really like about this, going back to the AI presentation style as well, is you can still edit this. This is like Google Docs built in with the AI editor. So we'll let this finish up and then we can go ahead and check out the citations. Okay, so here's the essay that was written, and then you can see the references here in the bottom left as 86. So there are 86 real citations and references that were used for this. And now we can see those at the bottom here, right? So we have actual APA style citations, and you have 86 of them to go with the 14,000 words. This is borderline a book, right? Or a book, at least a few chapters in a book with these real citations. And so there you go. That's just something I wanted to cover. I think citations are really useful and really necessary to actually bridge this type of generated content into the real world applications. Okay, so that is demo number 3, and you've seen a lot by this point. You've seen professional slide generation that completes 3 days of work in 30 seconds in part with real academic citations from Google Scholar, AI photo generation for everything from business posters to customized holiday avatars, and podcast creation that turns dense financial reports or presentations or research papers, because my personal favorite use case for it, into audio that you can actually digest on your commute. So my hope is that at least one of these workflows is something you can actually implement in your life to save yourself some time or make you more productive. And if that's the case, if you weren't following along with this whole video on the actual platform, you can head over and try them completely for free at oreateai.com or the link in the description. And then to upgrade to those full account capabilities, like I promised earlier in the video, here's the discount code that you can use to save on your subscription. So go claim that right now. And that said, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.